series, but whenever you take a look at the draws this year and the lopsided nature of it, is there a future for the current system to remain in the next 5, even 10 years?
It's hard to know exactly how you could change it around. I'm a firm believer in the provincial series. Having played in many Ulster finals, I love the feeling of going up the hill in Clones and representing my own county in an Ulster final, and having that winning feeling of winning the province. But it is an unbalanced draw, and this argument comes up year after year. How do you fix it? How do you, I suppose, even it out a wee bit? And I suppose one way of doing it is basing it on the performances in the league, and trying to, I suppose, close it in terms of quality in that shape or form. But you have to look at the likes of Fermanagh. What the provincial series means to Fermanagh. If they were to win an Ulster Championship, it would be like as good as winning an All Ireland for those teams. And for Armagh at the minute, we haven't won one in 6-7 years. So if Armagh won a provincial championship next year, there'd be serious celebrations for that there as well. So I would never want to see the provincial championships done away with, but they have to come to some system and agreement that is fair across the country and fair across the board. But at the minute, it certainly isn't fair when you look at the quality of teams in Ulster and how competitive that championship is in comparison to Leinster, Connacht and Munster. It's night and day, and the reality is, Kerry often speak about having to peak and perform for the later stages of August, and that's unfair when you look at the likes of Tyrone, Donegal, Derry, Armagh that have to peak for the start of May.
I'm a great believer in the provincial championship too. I just think that maybe now we need some form of debate, among people. Like, what I mean? I mightn't have the right answer, you mightn't have the right answer, but surely if we, can we not sit down and have a debate about it and see what would be best for the game? It strikes me as it can't be right if Donegal, defending Ulster champions, want to retain their title and reach the All-Ireland quarter-final, if they play 4 meaningful games. Kerry have to play 1, Mayo 1.5 maybe, and that's it. Can't be right.
It's not right. There's no doubt about it, and something does have to be done about it. But in saying that, whenever they do decide to sit around the table and discuss it and throw out the different scenarios of it, I would hope that the provincial championships do stay. But maybe it's a case of running the provincial championships every year, but having an open draw for the All-Ireland series or something like that there. But it has to be.
Or even run the provincial championship and letting the provincial champions go into the automatically in the All-Ireland quarter-final, and put the rest of them in an open draw if you want to. Something like that. There has to be some reward for being Ulster champions.
There's plenty of different scenarios that you could throw out there. It's finding the one that works best for all 32 counties. It's not finding the one that works best for the 3 or 4 counties down south, likes of Kerry, Cork, Dublin, Mayo. It's fine.
Or similarly for the 2 or 3 best in Ulster.
Exactly. It has to be fair. It has to be a fair and transparent draw across the board. But at the minute, it certainly isn't a fair and transparent board. You can't blame Kerry, you can't blame Dublin, you can't blame Mayo for that. At the minute, they are playing the teams put in front of them, and the system. That's the system that's there currently, but the reality is it is an easy passage for those teams into the All-Ireland quarter-final stages every year, and it is really becoming so unbalanced that it's difficult for the teams in Ulster to find that is fair overall.
I suppose at the same time we could tweak a few wee things. If you're in the preliminary round in Ulster one year, you shouldn't have to go in the second year. You also could have a case whereby Dublin, lo and behold, might have to play a match outside of Croke Park. That may be a bit different.
Yeah, well, I think we're always looking at the big gates, and sometimes you have to hold your hand up and say, well, it is a huge advantage to Dublin to play every game in Croke Park. I know as a player, if I was playing against Dublin, I would want to play it in Croke Park. I love the fact and the enjoyment of going to Croke Park, but it is totally to the advantage of the Dubs. There's no doubt if Laois draw Dublin, that game, and Laois are the first team out of the hat, that game should be in Port Laois. There's no doubt about that, and that's the way it should be. To provide teams in Leinster with a bit of justice and a realistic opportunity of going and competing against Dublin and beating them in their own home patch. The same, as you said, I know you mentioned it earlier on, there was a rule in at one stage for the Ulster Championship. If you're in the early stage, the preliminary round, you wouldn't be back in that the following year. Maybe that's a rule that should be come back into place, because it's very unfair for a team to be in that round of the draw maybe 1 or 2, 3 years in a row, and you know, it's a difficult, and the odds are that a team drawn in the early stages of the Ulster Championship won't get to the final series. So you know, it's an unfair advantage.
Having said that, Monaghan, I know we're happy enough. All the Monaghan fans, my mates, are all ringing me. They're delighted with the draw.